There we go. We may be live now. So, oops. Let's put the disclaimer in. Good evening, Alan. I'm just writing this copyright disclaimer in here. So how the hell's Alan then? How are you this evening? Let's put it in here as well. I've already got it on there, so we're all good to go. How's Alan? Can you hear me? Excuse me. Very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. Can you hear me, mother? Turn that on. We're good, we're good. Going back to work on April the 30th, I believe we are. Which is going to be interesting. Serving outdoors only on April the 30th. Let's see how that's going to work. My paper copies. Excellente, excellente. So tonight we are again we're on YouTube as well, same time. And I've got that remote in my hand as well, which is for the camera, which does this and this. Sandra's in the background there. You can't really see her, but she's there. You're the only one on so far, Alan, unless there's anybody else turned up. Sandra, is it? Are you looking? Sandra?
What, sorry?
Are you looking to see if there's anybody on? I have got tonic waters for refreshment this evening, Alan. I'm having weekends off drink at the moment. In fact, it's even better than tonic waters because it's tonic waters in a jam jar glass. Can you tell which? Oh, Rob and Eddie are at the fire pit, and wives and girlfriends and assorted carriers. Brian and Karen's in the house.
Are you on YouTube as well?
I'm on YouTube at the same time, I am. So you could say hello on YouTube, Sandra, if you want to. I'm going to say hello on YouTube there. And I go, hi guys to the YouTube. Not that we really have much to do on YouTube, but there you go. So good evening, Karen and Brian. So how? It's a bit cold out there, isn't it? Man, you've got a fire pit on, haven't you, Eddie? So it should be okay. Rob, sorry. Rob's got the fire pit. Eddie's not got the fire pit. So good health. Tonic water. Oh, it's all fuzzy now, look. Trish says she might join in tonight. We shall see. I have keyboards galore, cameras galore, one down there, one up there, and I even have one over there. This is my microphone, look. A couple of minutes I shall run through the categories for this evening. Well, they have been on Facebook, and no, not YouTube, just been on Facebook. No, I'm not going to bother putting them on YouTube yet. We'll wait and see how YouTube develops. Scratch my head. So what do we all think about opening on the 30th of April then, outside? Are you all going to come out and sit in the sun or rain, come hail or shine? Drink copious amounts of alcohol? And the Dawsons are in as well. The Dawsons and Taylors are in the house. Good evening, Sharon and James, and no doubt Steve and Kelly as well. It was good to see Steve and Kelly the other day, in the flesh, so to speak. So, okay, so let's run through this week's categories, shall we? We have Who Am I? We have Nature. Then we have Now and Then. Numbers. Ooh, not looking forward to this one. Synonyms, long words and antonyms. And then Bones. Books. Magical beasts. Geography. Bats, balls, legs and wheels. History. Musically yours. And Graham's in the house as well. Good evening, Graham and Amy. Graham and Amy, say hi to you, Sandra. And then we have famous firsts. Well, that's it. Sandra will be thinking hello to Graham, but she's busy watching shite on YouTube at the moment. I'm not sure what she's watching.
Right, you're saying I'm watching shite on YouTube.
That's
I'm
me.
actually watching you on YouTube.
Exactly. So I rest my case. I rest my case. She is watching shite indeed on YouTube. A few minutes we'll get going. So that's your subject for this evening anyway. So only one picture round this week. Don't know why, it's just the way it worked out. So, and I've got halfway through next week's. And the next week's trailer is all done as well. Well, not all done, but almost done. So I'm not sure if anybody else is joining. No sign of Janice this week. Maybe she'd had enough last week. We'll get going in a couple of minutes. So April the 30th, we're going to do the weekend opening only to start with. We'll see how it
The
goes.
Blacks haven't joined you for a few weeks.
The Blacks have not been in. No, I'm not sure we can say that nowadays, but they haven't. So we're all good. Is there any pubs then from that you know of that are opening on April the 12th? You're allowed to open from the 12th of April outside. I was wondering if anybody knows of any that are opening on the 12th of April. I understand Wetherspoons are not open until June. Which is interesting because they've all got outside spaces, well, majority of them. Right then, shall we make a move then? Shall we make a start? If anybody joins in later, then they can always ask for repeats, can't they? We can do it about half time or something, can't we? Let's make a start. Get my widget. No, I can't say I've heard of any either, Alan. It's just, I think they're all waiting until see how it goes, I think. We'll see what happens here. We're going to be playing it by ear anyway, so from the 30th. No idea what's going to happen, whether we're going to get anybody in, whether they're going to be doing food, I don't know anything at the moment until we see, really. Okay, let's make a start on this week's quiz, which is the 50th lockdown quiz. The 50th, it's almost the anniversary, the 52nd. We've gone past the anniversary. This is the anniversary quiz. It would be the first quiz, I think. Yes, it would be the first quiz from lockdown, but we missed a couple over Christmas and New Year, so we're not quite on 52. But this is kind of the anniversary quiz. Okay, so here we go. The first subject is who am I? So I'm going to give you some clues to a person, or a person pretty much, and I want you to tell me who that person is. So question number 1. I was born in 1932 in Bognor Regis. I was a party hostess who made the headlines in the 1990s and in the 1970s and 1980s. And I was convicted of running a brothel in Streatham, London in 1980 and served 4 months in Holloway Prison. Who am I? Do that again. I was born in 1932 in Bognor Regis. I was a party hostess who made the headlines in the 1970s and 1980s. I was convicted of running a brothel in Streatham, London in 1980 and served 4 months in Holloway Prison. Who am I? And question number 2. I'm an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who took the throne at 8 or 9 years of age. The last of my royal family was to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. I was the last of my royal family to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. Or is it dynasty? Maybe I did dynasty. And my tomb was discovered on the 4th of November 1922 by Howard Carter. We'll do them again. I'm an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who took the throne at the age of 8 or 9 years of age. I can't remember. I'm the last of my royal family to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. And my tomb was discovered on the 4th of November 1922 by Howard Carter. And number 3. I am an author with the middle initial K. And I don't have a middle name. I'll give you a little bit more on that. So I'm an author with the middle initial K and I don't have a middle name. The K is the initial of my grandmother's name, Kathleen. It was added when my publisher suggested that I don't use my real name. Who am I? The original manuscript for my first novel was turned down. Still the same one. The original manuscript for my first novel was turned down. And Michael Jackson once asked me to consider collaborating in a musical based on my most famous character. So we'll do that again. We'll just miss out the inglorious stuff. So I'm an author with the middle initial K and I don't have a middle name. The original manuscript for my first novel was turned down. And Michael Jackson once asked me to consider collaborating in a musical based on my most famous character. Who am I? Number 4. I'm an ancient farmer who was forced to change to shipwright and sailor. I am a 10th generation descendant of Adam and Eve. And I was 500 years old when I had my 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. Who am I? We'll do that again. I'm an ancient farmer who was forced to change to shipwright and sailor. I'm 10th generation descendant of Adam and Eve. And I was 500 years old when I had my 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. Who am I? And the last one on this subject. I am known for my dealings with the Russian royal family, but I was born a peasant to illiterate parents. After 10 years of marriage and 7 children, I went on a pilgrimage to St. Nicholas Monastery, 300 miles from home. I was called Russia's greatest love machine, but was murdered by being shot several times with a fatal one to my forehead. Who am I? I'm known for my dealings with the Russian royal family, but I was born to a peasant in illiterate parents. After 10 years of marriage and 7 children, I went on a pilgrimage to St. Nicholas Monastery, 300 miles from home. And I was called Russia's greatest love machine, but was murdered by being shot several times with a fatal one to my forehead. Who am I? Does anybody want any of those repeating? While I drink my tonic water. And repeats on those 5. I'm going to open another bottle of tonic. I've lost my trusty bottle opener that I keep here. Hello Sandra on YouTube.
Hello.
I just replied to Sandra on the YouTube while I'm waiting to see if you want any, so it's there we go. Duties fulfilled. Put that down there. Oh, Janice is here, look. There you go. Janice is here. Have you heard all the questions, Janice? Yes? So we're going to move on now to your next subject, which is... It'll come up in a moment. Nature. Oh my goodness. Nature. Oh my absolute... Janice and Steve are both here. You got the first 4 questions, but we've had 5, Janice. If you need any repeating, let me know and I'll repeat them after this. After these 5. So question number 6. What is the world's heaviest flying bird? What is the world's heaviest flying bird? Oh, you meant 5, that's alright then. We've only had 5, Janice, you're fine. Counting a bit of a problem in your house, is it? Question number 7. Okay, there's 2 points up for grabs here. So what is the offspring of a female donkey and a male horse called? Right? What is the offspring of a female donkey and a male horse? And the second part of that question is, what is it the other way around? Or is it a male donkey and a female horse? And you get 1 point for each. So 1 point for a female donkey and a male horse, and 1 for a male donkey and a female horse. Took some doing that. And question number 8. What does a dragonfly eat? Is it insects, pollen or carrots? What does a dragonfly eat? Is it insects, pollen or carrots? And question number 9. What is the world's largest living thing? Largest living organism. Is it a whale? Is it a tapeworm? Or is it a mushroom? It's the world's largest living organism. Is it a whale, a tapeworm, or a mushroom? And question number 10. A question that many people are desperate to know the answer to is, can elephants jump? In the true sense of the word, can elephants jump? Not just step over something, can they jump? So that's those 5. Any repeats on them? Number 8 for Janice. Okay, let's have a look. Number 8. Number 8, Janice and Steve. What does a dragonfly eat? Does it eat insects, pollen, or carrots? That was number 8 for Janice and Stephen. Any more repeats? Okie dokie, we shall move on then to your next subject. And your next subject is now and then. So these are things about celebrities who are doing something that they used to do, celebrity-wise, and what they're doing now. Okay, so number 11. After nearly half a century acting, Gene Hackman, the star of films like The Unforgiven, Superman and Ants, has changed his career path to what? What does author Gene Hackman do now? Not that difficult if you think about it. If you're going to change from being an actor to something else. So what does Gene Hackman do now? Doesn't act anymore. And question number 12. Tom Watt found fame as the lovable geek Lofty on EastEnders. But his acting work dried up when he left that and he became what? No, not what. I'm going to tell you what he became. He became a sports podcaster and writer, ghostwriting for which famous footballer's autobiography, My Side. So I'll read that again for you. Tom Watt, the actor who played Lofty on EastEnders, when he gave up acting, he became a sports podcaster and writer, ghostwriting for which famous footballer's autobiography, My Side. So which footballer did he ghostwrite for? Lofty from EastEnders. And question number 13. Comedian Jason Manford couldn't work during the pandemic, obviously, because he was no audiences. So he started working as a delivery driver for which retailer? So comedian Jason Manford obviously couldn't work during the pandemic, so he started working as a delivery driver for which retailer? And number 14, when JLS's JB Gill, I don't know what JB Gill stood for, I don't know any of the other members of JLS either. Justice League Society, I don't know. Anyway, when JLS's JB Gill took a break from screaming fans and slick dance routines, it says here, he craved the quiet life and started his own own company, farming which creatures? So when JLS left, or when JB Gill left JLS, I'm going to have a drink because I'm getting all this arse about it. When JB Gill left JLS, he started farming which creatures? Clue. His company is called Kelly Bronze. Kelly Bronze is the name of his company. And question number 15. Mark Freely from Westlife, when he gave up singing and well, he kind of gave up singing. He still does it now and again, I suppose. But he started his own catering company selling what type of food from his pop-up festival van. There we go. Mark Feely turned his back on singing and started his own company selling what type of food from his pop-up festival van. I'm sure he doesn't do it when Westlife are there. Maybe he does. Maybe he gets his wife to do it. I don't know. So any repeats on those 5? They seem a bit more complicated than I thought they were when I was writing them down. The next subject is numbers. So any repeats on those 5? Still got nobody on YouTube, I hasten to add. I have my Bay City Rollers shirt on today, look. There we go. A little banjo on the doodah. Not any of the Bay City Rollers played banjo. No repeats. Okie dokie then, let's move on to number 16. Your first one on numbers. Okay, so prior to the decimal system in the UK, we used the duodecimal system, or base 12, right? 12 pennies a pound, 12 ounces in a stone, 12 months in a year. We're based on 12. Right, we adopted this from the ancient Babylonians, and they worked out a system that's easy to count with. What I want to know is which body parts aided the counting in base 12. So the ancient Babylonians worked out there is an easy way to count and to add up in base 12. Which body parts aided that counting? What did they work it out on? Their own body parts. And number 17. Aside from an extra 385 yards, how many miles is a marathon race? So apart from that extra 385 yards, how many miles is the marathon? And number 18, how many dominoes are there in a standard double 6 set? Provided you've only got one of each and you've got the full set. How many unique dominoes are in a standard double 6 set? Oh, another long-winded one here.
Oh dear, thank you.
You're welcome, bless you. So question number 19. What is the only number that equals twice the sum of its digits? For instance, 27. You got 2 plus 7 equals 9, right? So what is the... What is the only number that equals twice the sum of its digits? And question number 20. Pure gold is how many carats? Pure gold is how many carats? And repeats on those 5. Number 19. Number 19, Janice and Steve. What is the only number that equals twice the sum of its digits? For instance, 2 and 7 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. But 18 is not 27, if you know what I mean. So what is it? If you get the two digits together, So 27 is 2 plus 7. Add them together. What is the only result you get that is twice the number? Or 13 is 1 and 3 equals 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So if you do that calculation, what number is twice the original number? I know it's more complicated than I thought it was going to be, that one.
Look what I found.
So apart from number 19, any more repeats? Because your next subject is one for me. You know, sometimes I like to challenge my linguistic dexterity. Well, here we go again. On synonyms, long words and antonyms. I have practiced these words. It may not show, but I have. Promise I won't have any more long-winded ones in next week's quiz. I don't know what was on when I wrote this. Okay, question number 21. Which of these is an antonym for abundant? An antonym. It's up to you to figure out what antonym means. Which of these is an antonym for abundant? Is it scarce, plentiful, or luxuriant? Which of those is an antonym for abundant? Is it scarce, plentiful, or luxuriant? And number 22, here we go, let's have a crack at this one. Hippopotomonstrosis quipedaliophobia and sesquipedalophobia, they are phobias of what? Hippopotomonstrosis hippopotomonstrosis quipedaliophobia and sesquipedaliophobia, they are both the same phobia of what? Is it horses, hippopotamuses, or long words? They are hippopotomonstrosis quipedaliophobia and sesquipedalophobia. What are they phobias of? Is it horses, hippopotami, or long words? Oh my goodness me. Question number 23. Floxinosin iphilippification means which of these? Okay. Floxinosin iphilippification. Floxinosin iphilippification means which of these? Is it estimating something that is worthless? Is it loud whistling? Or is it flogging a dead horse? Floxinosin iphilippification means, is it estimating something as worthless? Is it a loud whistling? Or is it a flogging a dead horse? And question number 24. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Anti-disestablishmentarianism is a political movement from the 19th century which sought to separate the state from which other organisation. That's anti-disestablishmentarianism was a political movement in the 19th century which sought to separate the state from which other organisation. And if you thought I had trouble with the last one, this one's going to be fun. (25) Nona conta nona acetano nona liliagion. Nona conta nona acta nona liliagon. Now that's a polygon. but with how many sides? Is it 9? Is it 99? Is it 999? Or is it 9,999 sides on a nona nona conta nona acta nona liagon? Try quicker. Nona nona conta nona acta nona liagon. It's a polygon with how many sides? Is it 9, 99, 999 or 9,999? Any repeats on those? And I did practice those words earlier. May not seem it now, but I did. Nona nona noka nona acta noli nona lilagium. The next subject is bones. Seems overly complicated this week's quiz, I don't know why. Seemed alright when I wrote it. Hey, we'll make amends next week. Okay, so on to bones then. If you want any more, if I catch any more repeats coming up, I shall deal with them shortly. So 26. Adult humans have 266 bones. Sorry, no, 206 bones. But how many are humans born with? Okay, so is it 200, 300 or 400? Adult humans have 206 bones. But how many are they born with as babies, as children, as little imbeciles? Are they born with 200, 300 or 400 bones? And number 27, in which part of the body is the smallest bone? It's called the stapes. S-T-A-P-E-S. So in which part of the body is the smallest bone? And it's called the stapes. And number 28, what is the practice of carving and engraving of whalebone? Some of these things are worth a fortune. What is the practice of carving and engraving of whalebone? I believe it is illegal now. Even in Japan and those dodgy countries. And 2 points up for grabs on 29. More than half the bones in your body are in which two parts of your body? More than half the bones in your body all belong in two parts of your body. Which parts are those? 1 point for each. And number 30. Which of the sexes of the human race have most ribs? Is it male or female? You may now conduct a research search of your partner. Which sex has the most ribs? Is it males or females? Can't feel my ribs anymore after lockdown. They're buried under reams of fat. So, any repeats on those 5 before we go to the final subject before the break? No, okay. So on to your next subject, which is books. You know the things you used to read? Huh? So question number 31 on books. Which company began trading in 1971 with their key reading system used in British primary schools and had titles such as Rapunzel, The Magic Porridge Pot and The Pied Piper of Hamelin? Was it Puffin Books? Was it Ladybird Books? Or was it Ladyboy Books? Which company, who began trading in 1971, had titles such as Rapunzel, The Magic Porridge Pot, and The Pied Piper of Hamelin? Was it Puffin Books, Ladybird Books, or Ladyboy Books? I'm expecting quite low scores on this for some reason. I don't know why. You may surprise me. Number 32. Where does Peter Pan live? Where does Peter Pan live? Number 33. Who wrote the book called Matilda, about a 5.5-year-old girl? Who wrote the book Matilda, about a 5.5-year-old girl? And you've got 3 points up for grabs on number 34. I'm going to give you 3 books. I want you to place them in order of publishing from the earliest to the latest. So, Rupert the Bear, Paddington, and Winnie the Pooh. Right, so tell me in order. You get 1 point for each place you get right. Okay, so in order from earliest publishing to the latest. You've got Paddington Bear, Rupert the Bear, and Winnie the Pooh. In order, please. 1 point for each in the right place. And question number 35, the last one of this half, before we do some answers and marking. What is a Gruffalo scared of? What is the Gruffalo scared of? Any repeats on those 5 before we do the answers? We're on target. We're about right for now. Good. Your next subject after the break is your picture quiz. It's magical beasts and why not to find them. Never mind where to find them. Who wants to go around finding magical beasts? Oh, no, thank you. Don't be put off if you've got low scores on this, because I think it's a strange quiz. I must have been in a strange place when I wrote this one. So we are ready for the answers then. Question number 1. So write these down if you get the answer. I gave you some clues. All those clues led to the Madam Cynthia Payne, the brothel keeper. Question number 2. Was Tutankhamun? Tutankhamun. Question number 3. Was J.K. Rowling? J.K. Rowling. Her first novel was actually turned out by 12 publishers before Bloomsbury took it over. And she would have made a fortune had she gone with Michael Jackson's suggestion of a musical. Question number 4. Oops, hang on. Question number 4. Numero 4 is Noah. I don't know. Tutankhamun, I don't know. I shall check on that. Question number 4 was Noah. And number 5 was Grigory Rasputin. Rasputin will do, or the Mad Monk. He ingratiated himself into the royal family of Russia and was thought to be mystical. but he wasn't, as he found out when he shot him. Anyway, number 6, the heaviest flying bird in the world is the mute swan. You see, there are probably going to be some arguments about this, but the heaviest flying bird, as a rule, is the Corey bustard, right? But there is a case of the mute swan weighed 23 kilos, so that is the heaviest one. The heaviest bustard was 19 kilos, and the condor can reach up to 15 kilos is all. So it is the mute swan. A swan will do, I will accept swan. Question number 7, 2 points up for grabs here. The offspring of a female donkey and a male horse is a hinny, Hinny, and a male donkey and a female horse is a mule. What does a dragonfly eat? I wish it ate carrots, but it doesn't. It eats insects such as mosquitoes, midges, butterflies, all that kind of thing. The world's largest living organism is a mushroom. It's a honey mushroom discovered in a national forest in Oregon, and it actually is 965 hectares or 1,350 football fields. Can elephants jump? No, they can't. Their bones all point downwards, so they can't get the spring to push off the ground, and they're too bloody heavy anyway. Question number 11 on Now and Then. Gene Hackman is an author. Told you it wasn't such a big stretch. Author. Tom Watt was ghostwriter on the autobiography My Side, it was called, for David Beckham. And comedian Jason Manford, he picked up work as a delivery driver for Iceland. And JB Gill from JLS, when he gave up the singing, he took to farming turkeys, Kelly Bronze turkeys. And Westlike's Mark Feely, he took to selling crepes in his festival, crepes. So prior to the UK decimal system, we were base 12. The Babylonians did it on their knuckles. They did it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When they got to 12, they put the thumb up, and then did it again, and then they worked out that. So they could quite easily count up to 60. Obviously, but we adopted the European system and the base 10, which is not as versatile. Easier, but not as versatile. So anyway, there's the fingers. Question number 17. Aside from the extra 385 yards, a marathon is 26 miles long. And a unique dominoes in a standard set are 28. The only number that equals twice the sum of its digits is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 2 nines are 18. Pure gold is 24 carats. On to synonyms, long words and antonyms. Which of these is an antonym for abundant? Well, antonym means the opposite, so it is scarce. Hippopotomonstrosi's quipideliophobia and sesquipedeliophobia are fear of long words. Floxinosi philippification means a fear of estimating something as worthless. So you go and get something, your friend is going to be worthless. Anyway, so that's that one. Anti-disestablishmentarianism was a political movement to separate the state from the church. And nona conta nona acta nona leagon is a polygon with 9,999 sides, or pretty much a circle. Adults have 206 bones when they're adults, but when they're born they have 300. They don't lose them, they just fuse together. Smallest bone in the body is in the ear. It's called the stapes in the ear. Practice of carving and engraving whalebone, barbaric. It is scrimshaw. And 1 point for each of these. More than half the bones in your body are in your hands and your feet. Lots of them in there. And which sex has the most ribs, male or female? The answer is neither. They both have 12 pairs, apart from the odd exception, which have a deformity of sometimes more or sometimes less. But the answer is neither. They both have 12 pairs or 24 bones, so it's neither. On to books. Which company began their trading in 71 with the Pied Piper Hamlin and all that? It is Ladybird Books. Peter Pan for 32 lives in Neverland. The book Matilda was written by Roald Dahl. And in order, these books in publishing were: in 1920, Rupert the Bear; 1926, Winnie the Pooh; and number 29, let me have a look. Ooh, go back up to 29. What was 29? Yes, it's 1 point for each for the 29, yeah. And in order, we had Rupert the Bear 1920, Winnie the Pooh 1926, and Paddington Bear 1956 in that order. And you get 1 point for each. And the last one of this section. What is a Gruffalo scared of? The Gruffalo is scared of a mouse. So write your answers in. Oh, sorry, write your scores in the comments, and we shall carry on with section 2. Section 2 is picture quiz about magical beasts and why not to find them. I'm expecting low scores tonight, so don't worry about. I think you're all going to get low scores in this week. I think I've made it exceptionally exceptional, unfortunately, and I do apologise for this. It didn't seem that bad when I was writing it. Hey, well, I'm old. I get things wrong. Can't take that long to add up your scores. You can't have that many. 26 for Brian and Karen. 25 for At the Fire Pit in the Bar. What's this? Simon Nye's Northwood. What's all that about? 34 for Alan. Good score, Alan. 29 for Graham. $22 for Janice and Steve. So is that it? Okay, let's move on then. Put my headphones on. And basically I'll do this once and then we'll do it again. So pretty much name the beasts. There we go. That was those. I shall play them again for you straight away now. And here we go. Largest country in the world by area. Welcome back, YouTube. Question number 50. Which is the smallest country in the world by population? Which is the smallest country in the world by population? And 51. Which is the largest country in the world by population? Which is the largest country in the world by population? And 52. In which capital city would you find the Trevi Fountain? T-R-E-V-I. In which capital city would you find the Trevi Fountain? Any repeats on those 5? Use guys down there or use guys up there? There's nobody on down there. There's nobody down here. No repeats. Okay, so your next subject is bats, balls, legs, and wheels, which is just another way of saying sport. Okay, so how many races are run over the course of the Cheltenham over the 4 days? So how many races are run over Cheltenham over the 4 days? How many races in Cheltenham? And number 54. Who is the current, as of March 2021, who is the current head coach of the Scotland Rugby Union team? Who is the current coach, as of March 2021, of the Scotland Rugby Union team? Oh, you got shitloads of points coming up next. Loads of them. 10. I might have to give you a minute on this. So question number 55. So, Britain has produced 10 drivers who have won the Formula 1 World Championship. Right? You can have a point for each. There's 10 points up for grabs. Great Britain has produced 10 drivers who have won the Formula 1 Championship on Skelectric. You get 1 point for each on 10 of them. Some I've heard of, some I've not heard of. And then again, it's sport. What I know about sport, you could write on a pinhead in chalk. I know nothing. I'll give you a minute or two on that, or a few seconds on that, while I pour myself another drink. Right, chat amongst yourselves. I did have a proper bottle opener here, but I would appear to have lost it. Hide the bottle logo from us so you can't see it. And you should have written 10 names down by now, surely. Okay, so number 56. Nicknamed The Power, he dominated darts for over 2 decades and won 214 professional tournaments. Who is he? Nicknamed The Power, he dominated darts for over 2 decades and he won 214 professional tournaments. Who is it? I've heard of him. And Jessica Ennis-Hill for number 57. Jessica Ennis-Hill. She competed for Great Britain at which sport? Which event? Jessica Ennis-Hill competed for Great Britain in which event? See, now's your time to pick up some big points to make up for the first round. 3 points up for grabs here. Name the first 3 men who stepped on the moon. Name the first 3 men to step on the moon, allegedly. Three points up for grabs, 1 point for each. And number 59. Which Roman emperor was assassinated in Rome in 44 BC? Which Roman emperor was assassinated in Rome in 44 BC? Was it Augustus Caesar, Julius Caesar, or Sid Caesar? And number 60. Nelson Mandela's political party was called the ANC. What did the ANC stand for? So Nelson Mandela's political party was called the ANC. What does ANC stand for? And 61. Which treaty ended World War One? Which treaty ended World War One? And number 62. What came after the Bronze Age? Which age came after the Bronze Age? Any repeats on those 5 on history, was it? Yes, in history. Any repeats on history? Your next subject is Musically Yours. Tell you what, the camera on here is a lot better than the camera on there. Don't know why. This camera is much worse quality than this camera, and this one was dirt cheap. This one cost a fortune. Goes to show you, doesn't it? I might swap them around for next time. One never knows. Okay, Musically Yours. I'm going to give you some lyrics from a musical. Just answer the questions. So, question number 63. Who is or was our fine four-fingered friend? Who is our fine four-fingered friend? And I bet you're all singing it now. Who's singing it? Question number 64. Which musical can you hear? Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. In which musical can you hear that? And 65. Which musical contains these lyrics? There's a light over at the Frankenstein place. There's a light burning in the fireplace. There's a light in the darkness of everybody's life. Which musical is that? And 66. Tell me the musical. Tell me the name of this musical. You would hear the character Tevye singing, "If I were a rich man, deedle diddle deedle deedle diddle deedle diddle dum." Which musical would you hear the character Tevye singing that? And the last one, in which musical would you hear the words, "Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along." Name of that musical. And repeats on those 5. And your final section, when we get in a minute, is famous firsts. Famous firsts. If you don't know the answers, at least it will educate you. You should have been educated this evening. If you can remember it through the haze of alcohol that you've consumed. No repeats? Okie dokie, moving on to famous firsts. Question number 68. Alexander Graham Bell made the first ever telephone call, but to whom did he make it? Did he make it to Holmes? Did he make it to Watson? Or did he make it to Mrs. Hudson? Who did Alexander Graham Bell make the first telephone call to? Was it Holmes, Watson or Mrs. Hudson? And question number 69. On April the 3rd, 1973, phone company employee Martin Cooper made the first ever mobile phone call from Manhattan to New Jersey. Okay, he made the first ever mobile phone call. Which mobile phone company did he work for? Was it Orange, Motorola or Vodafone? So in 1973 on April the 3rd, Martin Cooper, who was a phone company employee, made the first ever mobile phone call. Right? And it was from Manhattan to New Jersey, but which mobile phone company did he work for? Was it Orange, Motorola or Vodafone? And question number 70. In 1945, what was the first ever food to be microwaved on purpose? Was it popcorn, an egg or a cup of soup? 1945, what was the first ever food to be microwaved on purpose? Actually, he did a chocolate bar by accident, and then he tried it out on this. Was it popcorn, an egg or a cup of soup? And the penultimate question of the evening. On August the 17th, 1896, the first person to be knocked down and killed by a car was Bridget Driscoll. The coroner said that he hoped such a thing would never happen again. Okay, so what I want to know is how fast was the car travelling? Was it going at 4 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, or 25 miles an hour? So, 1896, first person to be knocked down and killed by a car. How fast was the car travelling? Was it going at 4 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, or 25 miles an hour? And the last one of the evening, and I do apologise for the quality of questions this evening. They didn't seem to be this bad when I was writing them. So, question number 22. Neil Papworth was the first person to send a text message. He was working on developing SMS, which is short message system, I think, for Vodafone, and he sent Merry Christmas in that text, the very first SMS. Right? In what year did he send it? Was it 1990, 1992, or 1994? So Neil Papworth was the first person to send a text message. He sent Merry Christmas is what he sent. Okay, but in what year did he send it? Was it 1990, 1992, or 1994? We shall do you some answers in a moment, unless there's any repeats. No repeats. We've still got nobody on there, which is okay. It's fine. I'm not. I don't know if I don't know. No repeats. Okay, let's go on to the magical beasts. I want you to name the magical beasts. Okay, number 36. I did give you some little bits of extra information on the thing. So question number 36 was the basilisk. 37 was Cerberus, the multi-headed dog, Cerberus. 38 was Cyclops. 39, okay, 39 was the Mogwai. If you've got Mogwai, you have a full point. If you've got a Gremlin, you can only have half a point. Oh no, what's happened here? I've turned my doing off. So if you've got Mogwai, you've got a full point. If you've got Gremlin, you can have half a point. So I've turned my doing off by accident. So turn it back on again. Doo-doo-doo, there we go. Make it back up there and just fight my way through the forest which was known as Section 1. I could read it off my papers as I got down here, actually. Do it like this because then I can look at you. It's such a beautiful, gorgeous lot. He lied. Okay, dokie. So, yeah, if you got Mogwai, a full point, Gremlin, half a point. Number 40 was the Griffin, hence the Griffin, the Family Guy quotes on there. 41 was Medusa. Medusa was a Gorgon, but I wanted Medusa. Loch Ness Monster. Then we have Pegasus and Siren. Then we had 45 was a unicorn with the words from a Val Doonican song. Then 46 was a Valkyrie. 47 is Nosferatu. If you've got Nosferatu, you can have a full point. If you've got Vampire, you can have half a point. On to geography. So, the largest desert in the world by the definition I gave you is the Antarctic. The largest country in the world by area is Russia. The smallest country in the world by population is the Vatican City. The largest country in the world by population is China. And you would find the Trevi Fountain in Rome. On to sport, or bats, balls, legs and wheels. Over the 4 days, Cheltenham has 28 races. The current head coach of the Scotland Rugby Union team is Greg Townsend. Okay, now you've got 1 point for each of these. You've got 10 of them. So you've got Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button, Damon Hill, Nigel Mansell, James Hunt, Sir Jackie Stewart, John Surtees, Jim Clark, Graham Hill and Mike Hawthorne. So just let me, I did put your section 1 answers eventually. I put them into the comments, so I shall do that in a moment for these, and I shall do it for YouTube as well, just in case. So that was those. I'll go. You can have a look in the comments for these. So, okay. So question number 56, nicknamed the Power. He was called Phil Taylor. Jessica Ennis-Hill competed for Great Britain in the heptathlon. The first 3 men who stepped on the moon, 1 point for each, is Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins. The Roman emperor assassinated in 44 BC was Julius Caesar. Nelson Mandela's political party was the African National Congress. 61, the treaty that ended World War I was the Treaty of Versailles. What came after the Bronze Age? It was the Iron Age. I'm sure you're all singing along to these. Our fine four-fended friend is chitty 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 bang bang chitty bang bang. We love you. And raindrops. That was chitty chitty bang bang. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Red copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. Was the sound of music. And there's a light over at the Frankenstein place. That is the Rocky Horror Show, my favourite musical of all time. And which musical would you hear if I were a rich man? Diddle daddle diddle daddle diddle diddle daddle dum. It was Fiddler on the Roof. And 67, the last one in this section, is Consider Yourself at Home. Consider yourself one of the family. It's Oliver. Famous First. You get entertainment karaoke as well, I can't believe it. Famous First. Alexander Graham Bell made the first telephone call to his assistant, Mr. Watson. He actually said, he phoned him from the next room and he said, Mr. Watson, come here. So it was Mr. Watson. On April the 3rd, 1973, Martin Cooper was working for Motorola when he made the first ever mobile phone call. Motorola. And in 1945, the first ever food to be microwaved on purpose was popcorn. He actually tried an egg after that and it exploded in his face, so he didn't do that again. It was popcorn. August 17th, 1896, the first person to be killed by a car when the car was travelling at 4 miles per hour. Knocked her over and killed her. And Neil Papworth sent the first text message in the year 1992. That's your lot for this week. I'm going to post the answers in there. Done. Section 2 answers in there, and I shall do the same for those of you who are not watching on YouTube. Control A. Copy. How do you do this then? Okay, something's gone wrong on here. I don't know what I'm doing on. Encoding overloaded, it says. I don't know what that means. 68 for Graham, a fine score in these difficult times. 72 for At the Bar. $59 for Janice, who rose into 3rd place. Ooh, 74 storms into the leader, Alan Dykes, putting At the Bar in 2nd place. Hard lines, guys. You were doing so well. So far we have Alan, At the Bar, Graham and Janice and Steve.
Excuse me.
Karen and Brian 61.5 because they put either Gremlins or a vampire. Which did you put, Brian? A vampire or gremlin? That's fair enough. I believe you. You're not getting extra points for it, but fair enough. Tuckenhaten. YouTube rubbish. You can't post my answers on YouTube. I think I can only have 200 characters in it. I see, Gremlin. Oh, was he Russian as well? He might have dipped his toes out. $61 for Sharon and the Dawsons and the Taylors. You landed on the moon though. I think if I was a man, I'd dip my toe out, or at least put my foot out the door, wouldn't you? That's it then, boys and girls. Thank you very much for your general attendance and your lack of derision and lack of abuse. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. We shall see you again next week. Thank you very, very much. See you later, guys. You take care.
Well done.
YouTube shit, because I can only put 200 characters in my comments.
Sorry?
YouTube, I can only put 200 characters in the comments, so I can't get the answers in.
Alright. Why's somebody gone on it?
No,
Oh,
I can't post answers.
okay.
But thank you very much, guys.
You've told them.
Take care. I will if you will, Janice. I'll switch YouTube off and